I wanted to share some of the points from a developer's perspective, because I've seen there's a lot of when I looked at the profile of most of the people attending, those were all structural engineers, the manufacturers and all that like. I just want to touch upon why composite structure, why steel structure in India, or at least as a company why we wanted to get into it, and what kind of advantages we get, and what are all the concerns. So these are the three areas which I wanted to touch upon. As you know, most of the developers want every building from the date of preconceived to concept to construction and to delivery in a very short span of time. If somebody can able to give in 10 months time or 12 months time, which people are happy. But also at the same time we should understand the psyche of a developer in this country is the moment when you conceive and the moment when the concept has been closed, then they wanted to start the drawing next day. They wanted to start the construction next day, which is also, it doesn't happen anywhere in the world. But that's reality here. So how to mitigate all this? So there are a lot of ways to do it, and as a developer and who delivered more than about 5-6 million square feet in structural steel in the last some few years, I felt how we can able to mitigate all this, and that's why when somebody has invited me to address this, I thought it's better to speak to all of you or express my concern, express my thing how we can able to come out of this. If you look at it in the last few years, there's a lot of buildings, especially the developers wanted to move from a hardcore construction, concrete construction to a steel construction composite structure. The simple reason is the real estate is an industry where even the iron is hot, you have to make it. So today if you really look at it, post-pandemic, the kind of office space requirement which is increasing. Today, honestly, as a developer, I don't have any space left out in Delhi. And wherever the other places which we are building, and already most of the places has been already leased out, and bulk leases which is happening at a good price. So there is a huge requirement. So what happens is I run out of stock. So the moment when I run out of stock, as a developer I have to add more and more stock into the system. Then only my continuity of business, my sustainability of business gets into it. That is one reason. So speed at which the construction has to happen, that is one reason. Even though we know that we pay a little more money than the construction from the concrete construction to the steel construction, we still wanted to get into the steel construction. I'll just explain you a couple of these are all, it's a very preliminary. What we wanted to have a concrete structure is, I wanted to replace the entire reinforcement to a steel columns and beams and all that. Like that's a simple things which we understand as a developer, as a composite structure, and that's what we do. I think it's very thing. I'll move on to this. The one thing is it goes faster construction at site. So all my building structure which get constructed very fast. The other good thing is than doing it at that particular site. If I'm doing it at a controlled environment in a factory, I think my quality is definitely much better. Also, my dependencies on the workmen is very less at the site. Unskilled labor is less at the site. With proper planning, less site area is required, fabrication at the site. There could be very simple things. But I'll tell you the one major problem which we face, even though these are all the advantages. Today, I am yet to find a contractor to give me a total turnkey solution in a building. As a developer, my structure is not the only thing. If I build my structure in 4 months' time, he was mentioning about he created a structure in 4 months' time, but it doesn't make any sense for me. I can build a structure in 4 months' time, but at the end of the day, it takes another 45 months to deliver my building. So today, there is lack of contractors, lack of turnkey contractors who can able to do from the concept to the detail engineering to end delivery is a big concern in this country. I work with some of the big names in this country. which I don't want to name it, big names in this country. But the problem is, if I go to a steel construction company, they are excellent and they are very strong in steel, but they don't want to take up civil job and they don't want to take up. Whenever I call anybody for a negotiation, I said, if you are not ready to take a end-to-end project, I'm not even interested to talk to you. I don't want you to be a GC, but definitely we can support, as a developer, we can support a lot of package contractors. But we, at the same time, we don't want somebody who can be only on bits and pieces. Somebody can do structure, I want to get my facade. Also, I will tell you there's another thing. I think there's a lot of structural experts and structural engineers are sitting here. The coordination between the various agencies, especially in the services and facade, is always a challenge in steel construction. Also, mind it, in a concrete construction, if you wanted to change, you wanted to break something, it's very easy. It's not that easy in a steel structure. So, as much as possible, we'll try to give a real clarity what I want, what my end product wants. But at the same time, we look at some kind of a clarity which is required. So the one biggest concern is availability of total turnkey contractor is the biggest concern in this industry today. We know that cost of construction is higher than in the conventional construction. The other one biggest problem which we found is there is lack of in-house erection teams are not there with most of the companies. See, they have got a good factory setup, excellent setup, the material reaches to the site. See, the way which I look at it, the moment when the material reaches to the site, it has to get into the building and shipped. So, the rate at which the material comes into the site, it is not getting erected, rate at which it is getting erected. I was just explaining to you, way back in 94, 95, the entire Dera city center in Dubai has been open to public exactly in 24 months' time. So in 24 months' time, including the fit-outs, which we're able to do. So the reason is the contractor which is getting used has got tremendous amount of in-house erection team, and the speed at which it has been constructed is quite fast. The other one is, that is not only in this industry, every industry, there's a lot of shortage of trained labor at the site. And the one request which I have got is, if you really look at it, there's a lot of skill development can be done across this industry, because you only need riggers, welders, and erectors. But still, there is wherever you go to a site, my project managers always say, sir, there's about 30% less manpower at the site. So these are other concerns which we face. Now, I was explaining to you about the poor coordination between the services. I'll tell you one simple example. So we wanted about a 4.5 meter is to be my clear height is required. Everybody said yes. The designs went in, and when the structural designer has completed, there is a beam depth of about 1.1 meter. So what has happened is your 4.5 minus 1.2, my effective depth has gone down. See, as a developer, as an end user, I can only say, they should have been highlighted to me much earlier. They should have been told that these are all the concerns to do it. But then I have to find out a different kind of a method, how to run my chilled water line, how to run my AC ducting and all that. So this is a challenge. So until otherwise the experts comes to me and at very early stage that you say, come on, if you want to do a 4.5 meter clear structure, I want the floor to floor height, including the beams, to be 5.1, 5.2. Those kind of things, the coordination between the architects to the service engineers to the structural engineers is also a biggest concern. Now, of course, we make mistakes only in the first project, then we know that how to mitigate it, where to go, where to mitigate it. Also, the other thing which we found is, I may be totally wrong, and lack of specialist consultants who does in the steel structure construction. Honestly, when I looked at it, not the existing company, in my earlier company, we wanted to look at it. When we start talking to the consultants and the contractors, they are all good at it. But when we go a little deeper, so they get fumbled. So this is also, I think I will not call it's a totally different area of business, but there should be some specialist consultants are required to be able to handle into the steel or a composite structure. The last one which I wanted to, I was just mentioning to him about the delivery of drawings into the site. So what has happened is, the things have started getting into bits and pieces. It's very difficult for a developer to estimate what kind of a quantity which I do. People will say blindly, sir, I will deliver the project at 7 kg per square foot. But at the end of the day, when the project gets completed, it goes to 9.5 kgs or 10 kgs per square foot. Either you say without completing the entire design, I can't give you the quantity, well and good. Fair enough. We are not, we also engineers, we know that it is. But the moment when you commit something, then automatically that commitment has to be delivered. If you cannot able to commit something, if you cannot able to deliver whatever your commitment, I think better not to commit. So these are all the concerns which we found in the building of this composite structure. Now, I'll just take through my journey, at least in DLF. I don't know if somebody familiar with Gurgaon. The moment when you enter Gurgaon now, immediately after the ambience mall, you can see 2 buildings have been completed, and this is the building. We just started in December 2019, maybe a long time to start. March 2020 we hit by COVID, and continuously we are having stop and all that like. But still, we could able to deliver this building in the total things which has come into about 13 months, but effective usage of is about 24 months. Now we have the entire building has been completed, and it is about 1.8 million square feet, 2 towers, and end customers are happy. Even though we had initial teething troubles, but we could able to do. What we did is we used 1 civil contractor, but we used 2 structural contractors to get the speed of two buildings to come up. And this completely delivered, 80% of the occupancy done, and it has been completely, it's going on. Now, coming to Chennai, and this is the one beautiful picture, and we are in the final stage of completion of this thing in Dharamani. We did this is again somewhere in just some of the pictures which I'm just putting in. This is a structure today. I think it's a little old structure, maybe sometime in the month of June. It's a 2.5 million square feet at a single tower. There are 2 cores, and we are all my services are completed. I've got a little problem in the facade, and that is also in the final stage of completion. So this is also going in. We're quite happy with this, and we had a little issue of about some of the the heights and all that, like we have mitigated then and there whenever we had problem. Now this is the one. The one is in the right side is not a concrete structure. It's a concrete structure that's a completely leased out building for one of the large company, and the left one is the steel composite structure which is under construction. It's about 2.58 million square feet, and I've got basement, 4 slit, and podium on 14 floors, and it's 2 towers, both interlinked. And since Chennai, more than about 60-70% we are in the verge of closure of my leasing too, and Chennai is taking it. So I've got another 3 billion square feet in Chennai, which is coming up after this. We are also eagerly looking at steel composite structure, simply because I wanted to deliver it fast. Because not only for the cost constraints, but I've got a site constraint. I don't have anything, because 2 towers will be fully operational, and I was doing a project in Mumbai for one of the leading developers in Worli. So I was just telling somebody a little earlier. So I used to plan in such a way that my material comes in the night, because Worli is one of the very busiest area. So all my material scheduling is in the night, and the structure has been delivered in the night. It has to go into the respective floors. The next whole day, which the erection has to happen. It is not only for the structure; it is for the services. We have started doing the entire MEP structure, MEP off-site manufacturing, bring it and lift it to the thing. So I think that building is also more or less in the stage of completion. And I also had a privilege of doing a 40-story residential structure in one of the very tough site in Mumbai. That is also delivered, and you might have seen that. There's a building called Altamont. Altamont is a residential building just in building. So this is the things which we done. And now, by this 4 or 5 buildings which has been done, experienced. Now, this is one of the slides, why we went to, apart from this, now today, there's a lot of requirement of sustainability, green, all those kind of things, and we feel in material production stage and the construction field and all that, like it is economically friendly, sustainability, and that's another reason where we wanted to move from a concrete structure to a composite structure, if commercially it is viable on that particular location. I just wanted to touch upon on DLF, and you all know we are the largest real estate company in this country by market cap. Second and third put together reaches, and we are a 75-year-old company. This year we have touched 75 years. 330 million square feet plus has been developed, and I'll put you some few slides subsequently. We are one of the company. We are into two verticals. One is we build and lease, and the second one is we build and rent. So we may be the company where about 40 million square feet on leased space today, and I've got 17 spots of honor from British Safety Council of my running buildings, and they're the highest in the world. And 17 honors for a single company, it's highest in the world. And most of the buildings which we go for a LEED platinum, and nothing we compromise on that. And also, we got a lot of the green. Recently, last week, also from we have done the zero waste LEED in my Hyderabad campus, and we have put a target of about the next 12 months' time. My entire 40 million square feet across India will go with the green zero waste in the buildings. So this is something about this company. Now, what next? Since we are thrilled about this composite structure construction, and we are coming out with a very, very large 5 million square feet built-up area, 2.5 million square feet leasable area, a mall in Gurgaon, Mall of India, Gurgaon. I put a target of 24 months for the customers to walk in, the first customers to walk in. Now, the concept has been closed. The detail engineering is going on. We are in the process of getting a DNB contractor. We are already shortlisted a couple of guys. And we want to start the work in the 1st of June. And I'm telling you, the one problem which I faced is email. So today, none of the engineers talks direct, all in email. So the one philosophy which I adopted in this is the entire construction, the entire design team sits in a room. And they will not allow to go out until they sort out the issues which has been arised in the morning. So, including my international consultants, I've got my consultants from America, I've got consultants from Singapore, and my interior fit outs is from somebody. Everybody sits in a room, iron it out. Then, so otherwise, 24 months is a big task for me to do it, because my structural detail engineering just started, and 24 months looks. We are starting in June. 1st of June is a target which I put in, and I wanted to open for Diwali, November 2025. So that's a big task, and hope with the learnings which we had in the last few years, and as a construction man, as a professional for the last 30-35 years, worked in the Middle East, in Europe, and different part of the world, and in India. I'm confident that we will put a tremendous amount of a benchmark in this industry in the coming years, that in 2.5 million square feet leasable area can be delivered in 24 months, without any disturbance like COVID, given a product comes into the picture. So that the targets put in, and as a lot of industry professionals are sitting here, I'm very the future of Indian construction, because people wanted it very fast. Maybe residential may go a little take, but most of the commercial construction, if the number of contractors, turnkey contractors, if we can able to really develop into turnkey contractors from the detail engineering to the delivery.